RBT family, what is the deal? It's your dog Willie Jack, and we are back, baby, back with more NFL action. Week 9 did not disappoint. Tons of exciting football action to talk about, so you know we're gonna get into that. And then also, let us not forget, how could we, that today was the official close of the NFL's trade deadline. Tons of moves. I feel like there were more. I feel like this is one of the more active like trade deadlines that we've seen, in the last maybe couple years. The NFL trade deadline, it can be, it tends to go a little hot and cold. It's not often that I feel like there's like a lot of activity around their trade deadline. Not like the NBA, especially, that type of thing, but definitely where a lot of moves being made, not just right here at the deadline. Definitely some moves that we're talking about, but even in these last few weeks, leading up to. And I'm not just, guys that kind of filling out for depth at the bottom of the roster, but we've got big name stars that have been on the move. And so definitely can't wait for y'all to get in here, get yourselves all settled down. And we're going to definitely get into all of it for sure, for sure. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Rini, first one in the building. What's going on? What's going on? Appreciate you. Look at my dog, hey, D-Dot in this thing, man. Big Nation Business in the building, man. Come on now. Big Nation Business, man. What's up now? You know what's going on, man. You know what's going on. The nation definitely in the building, man. The nation definitely in the building. I know we messaged a little bit, man, but dog, I'm telling you, man, I'm feeling pretty good, man. I'm feeling pretty good, D-Dot, man. I ain't gonna lie, I'm feeling pretty good about what we did. I'm feeling pretty good. For sure. And man, I tell you what, because like Mike Williams didn't surprise me. And we're gonna get into all the trade talk for sure. But Mike Williams didn't really surprise me, but I didn't see the Preston Smith trade coming. And so I was a little, that one caught me by surprise a little bit. But especially now that it's happened, then had time to kind of sit and chew on it. I love it. Man. We're gonna get into that plus many more. Rainy, I see you tried to comment. Oh, okay, it was a gift or as an emoji. Yeah, it's about talk. You know what's going on. For sure. I see the rest of y'all in here now. I see you in my views, man. Hey, y'all know the rules, man. Ain't no free rides, man. Y'all drop in here, man. Drop something in the chat for your dog, man. Say what's up to your dog, man. We're gonna get the show rolling for sure. Matter of fact, make sure I'm where I need to be. For sure. But hold on, what was I finna say here? And matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and break the ice, man. While I let everybody get in here and get comfortable, man, and get on locked in. I'm gonna go ahead and break the ice a little bit. We do have a little bit of news outside of the trade deadline for sure. But Saints head coach Dennis Allen has been fired. Now, I'll tell you the truth. I thought he was getting fired last year. I was surprised he was brought back as the coach. Honestly, and I know it feels like a million years ago now, but last year, Jameis Winston was on the Saints. And it was the end of the year. They're up. The win is already solidified for sure. In a game against, I think, the Falcons. So, the Saints and the Falcons are a pretty bitter rivalry in the NFC South. So I guess the coach tells the team to go out there, take a knee, show good sportsmanship, not try to rub it in, not try to run up the score, even though they're on the goal line, that type of thing. Jameis decides to give the ball to Jamal Williams, former running back from the Lions. He hadn't had a touchdown all year. The year before, he had led the league in touchdowns with the Lions, and so Jameis gives him a handoff. He gets a touchdown at the end of the game. And anyway, there's a whole big to-do about all of that. I thought that was going to be a fireable offense right there. I thought Jameis was definitely going to be at the building, and I thought Dennis Allen was going to be fired as well. Because in my opinion, he had lost control of that team. It felt like when that's happening, when Jameis Winston takes over the team in the way he did, or takes over the huddle, I mean, and the way the team stood up and rallied behind Jameis in the decision to do it, like I thought the writing was on the wall then that it's time for Dennis Allen to get on out of there. But instead, he does come back. They get the hot start this year, 2-0, haven't won a game since. And then, of course, losing the way they did to the Carolina Panthers in a game that they definitely let get away. So he finally gets the axe. So, like I said, man, not to wish not to wish ill on him or his family, but yeah, it was time for him to get up out of there, man. Wasn't a fan of the job he was doing as a coach. I can say that. And then, some of my Saints partners, man, shout out to my dog, Brody, man. He been ready for Dennis Allen to get fired since he took over Sean Payton, it feel like. So if he's any indication of how the Saints fans feel, then yeah, man, they was ready for a change. Look who it is, man. Shout out to my dog Bowser in the building, man. Hey, come on, man. Come on, man. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all getting Marshawn Lattimore? I love that. That might be my favorite trade of the deadline. That might be my favorite. First off, I love me some Marshawn Lattimore for sure. I'm a big Marshawn Lattimore fan for sure. And then him going to the Commanders, that's a great move. That's a great move, man. Y'all gave up a little change to get him too now. I think it's a third or fourth. Is it a third or fourth and fifth? But then y'all get back a sixth? Something like that? I think y'all gave up a third and a fourth for sure. And then y'all do a pick swap with like a fifth and a sixth or something like that. Y'all paid a pretty penny now. Y'all definitely paid a pretty penny to get him. But you want to talk about a sore spot? Y'all need somebody in that cornerback room for sure. Emmanuel Forbes, it didn't make sense when he got drafted anyway. When he was coming out of Mississippi State, I liked him for like a certain skill set and a very specific style of scheme. But y'all taking him in the first round was a little rich for sure. And what y'all asked him to do. So yeah, y'all definitely had a sore spot at the corner position for a few years now. So Marshawn Lattimore, that's a big pickup. I ain't gonna lie. That's a very big pickup. And we see how Dan Quinn had DeRon Bland and Trayvon Diggs turned up. You know what I mean? So I'm sure he's not gonna have any problems getting Marshawn Lattimore going for sure. Kelvo, man, he said all borrow picks we gave a 34. Okay, 34th and the 6th. I was about to say, yeah, that's a little pricey now. Okay, you gave up the 6th and get a 5th back. Okay, I knew it was a 34th and a 5th in there somewhere. I ain't gonna. Matter of fact, I think he's got years left on his contract for sure, especially when you give up that much. It's not a 1-year rental. I want to say he's got 2 years left on his deal. He's still on the right side of 30. I think he should be around like 27, somewhere like that, if I'm not mistaken. So I like it. I ain't gonna lie. That very well may have been my favorite trade of like today's deadline. You know what I'm saying? Definitely should have took Christian Gonzalez. Shit, you should have took Joey Porter. Christian Gonzalez or Joey Porter Jr. Yeah, I didn't understand through 26. Okay, yeah, so he got 2 more years. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought he had some time left in that deal too. And he's still, like I said, relatively young. Like I said, 27, in the heart of his prime. So yeah, I like that move, man. I really did like that move. I really did. And then, well, I guess now if we talking trade right now, we might as well go ahead and just get into it then, man. So first off, tell me, do y'all have any, you know what I'm saying? What was some of y'all favorite trades? Yeah, damn, I keep forgetting to put that chat up. But yeah, what was some of y'all favorite trades? That Marshawn Lattimore, like if I had to tell you like some winners or some losers, or essentially, you know, how I feel about it, I don't necessarily think there's too many hardcore just losers. You know what I'm saying? I did pick one, but winners, Washington was definitely a winner for me. You got a team that's a young team, 7-2, definitely buoyed by a fantastic rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels, first year in Washington coach, Dan Quinn. They get in there, you get the right guy behind center, turn that franchise around instantly, or damn near instantly. 7-2. That defense is still a sore spot. They're doing just enough. Like the defense, I don't think it's a good defense, but you're still doing just enough. Never got your money's worth for Chase Young when he was there. Let go of Montez Sweat. I think Montez Sweat looks damn good since in the little short time that he's been in Chicago. And honestly, he outperformed Chase Young while they was there together. Jonathan Allen, I like. Deron Payne, I like both those guys, but both those guys are still, man, y'all cashed both of them out, but I still think they're tier 2 guys. I don't think they're like tier 1 guys on the inside. The linebacker position has been super weak. Bobby Wagner's been big for y'all because that linebacker spot was also a big weak spot in that defense too. And so now you get Marshawn Lattimore to add to that corner room. So that's a big pickup. That's a big pickup for sure. I ain't gonna lie. That's y'all was definitely one of my winners, man, for being aggressive, making that move, and especially putting yourselves in position to really. For one, you got to keep the Eagles off your ass because the Eagles that picked it up. Eagles are what, a half game back, and I still think y'all got to play them twice to close out the season. I think, don't y'all? So I believe I don't think y'all played the Eagles yet. So y'all got 2 games with the Eagles coming up. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Eagles then found their groove, or so, you know what I'm saying, they finding their groove, so to say. They only a half game back, or maybe it might be a full game back of y'all. I think they 6-3. So they a full game back, but they got 2 head-to-heads with y'all coming up. So it was definitely time to do something to try to, you know what I'm saying, position yourself to lock in that division first off and then see what you can do from there. Hey, you gonna be in the building? Oh, you did say you going to that. Hey, yeah, got to, man. I'm gonna have a shot ready when you do. Hey, I don't want no hard feelings, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Pittsburgh, man. We normally break rookie quarterbacks in pretty good, man. So it may be a rough day for you. It may be a rough day for your boy Jaden, man. It may be a rough day at the office, man. Pittsburgh, man. We break rookies in pretty good, man. We ain't necessarily the team you want your rookie to bump into. You know what I'm saying? Let him come see us around year 3. He get a little seasoning. Year 1 might be a little rough, man. That's all I'm gonna tell you, man. That's all I'm gonna tell you. My dog D-Dot know what's going on. Man, we hard on a rookie, man. Yes, sir. In the O-line, now, that O-line still, they not the worst out there, but boy, there's some leaks in that boat. It's some leaks in that O-line boat, too. If it's one thing we gonna do is hunt the quarterback. Yeah, man. Hey, y'all better be careful now. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Man, hell no. I'm glad you brought them up. The Cowboys was the only team I put as like just a loser. The Cowboys been a loser for this the way this season unfolded. But them going to giving a 4th round pick for Jonathan Mingo. First off, he's on the bottom of that damn Panthers receiving depth chart for one. And they gave away a 4th. D-Hop went for a 4th. Just had 90 yards and 2 touchdowns for on Monday night. You know what I'm saying? D-Hop went for a 4th. What did Amari Cooper go for? I mean, I know they let Amari go. Bring his ass back. You know, as desperate as that receiver room is, bring his ass back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a 4th for Mingo was rich, bro. That's rich. I ain't gonna hold you. I mean, we gave up a 5th for Mike Williams, but shit, Mingo going for a 4th was a little rich. Mingo should have went for a 6 for sure. That Panthers receiving room, they already got rid of Deontay Johnson. Adam Thielen old as hell. And on top of being old, he's old and injured. Then you got rookie Xavier Legette, who I like a lot. Xavier Legette is the player they wanted Mingo to be. Athletic specimen that can really go get it. You know what I mean? Like Xavier Legette is who they thought Mingo was going to be. And then they got that other kid, Coker, the other rookie. Is it Jalen Coker or something like that? He had a big day game before last. So he was, at best, he was the 5th receiver on that roster. I don't know if they keep more than 5 active. So that means he was probably the bottom receiver on that roster. And Dallas funky ass gave up a 4th round pick for the bottom receiver on the worst team in the league's receiver depth chart. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, bro. That's why Dallas was my loser. Not because they went and got him. I wouldn't mind taking a shot on him. He's still 6'2", 220. He ran like a mid 4.4 or mid 4.4, you know what I'm saying, the combine. Vertical was like 38. You know what I'm saying? He's a size, weight, speed type of dude. So I'm not mad taking a shot on him. But not for a 4th, boy. Not for a 4th. Kelvin said they look better with young. Shit, they should. They damn sure should. They better. Matter of fact, yeah, y'all had four guys at that same position. All of them looking for $100 million contracts at one time. Y'all end up keeping Abrams and Payne, or Jonathan Allen and Payne. Y'all should have kept Allen and Sweat. That's what y'all should have did. Y'all should have kept Allen and Sweat. Y'all kept Allen and Payne. But Payne had a good year in that contract year for sure. He definitely showed up in that contract year, but that's just how that goes sometimes. But when you already giving Jonathan Allen $100 million, I don't know if I need the guy next to him to also get $100 million. He's clearly the second best of the two. I'll tell you another team. I definitely like Washington though. I really do. I love that Marshawn Lattimore move. I hope he ain't ready to play. I hope he ain't ready to play Sunday. Matter of fact, why don't y'all go ahead and ease him in, man? Don't put all that pressure on him. Ease him in. Let him get comfortable. He can play next week. But outside of them, I like Detroit. Detroit going to get Zadarius Smith. I love that move. I think that one had been talked about. I mean, I feel like I was seeing or hearing that connection these last 2 or even 3 weeks for sure. And so I love that. I love that addition. I love that fit. I like Zadarius Smith. I liked him when he was in Baltimore, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Then he went to Green Bay. Shit, he was solid in Green Bay. You know what I mean? And so then I think his first year in Cleveland, I think was probably his best year in Cleveland. But I like Zadarius Smith, and then especially going to get him, they've got a hole there. The pass rush, since they lost Aiden Hutchinson, that pass rush has really dried up, and so that one just fit like a glove. It was a big need, perfect fit. I don't think the compensation was bad. Like I like what Detroit did too, man. I like what Detroit did, and then another winner, man. If I'm gonna give y'all 3. He said they ain't paying nobody else. You know, well, no, that's a fair point because the linebacker run was terrible, and I like that dude, the kid Jamin Davis when he came out of was it North Carolina? I thought he was decent. I didn't think he was like a first round guy, nothing like that. But if I remember right, man, I think I might have had a 3rd round grade on him. Y'all might have got him in the 2nd. But I thought I liked him. I thought he was athletic, you know what I'm saying, rangy. But he ain't panned out. Bobby Wagner's been big for y'all though. And then I'm trying to think who else is on that team. Boy, it's been rough going, boy. That back 7 been rough. Y'all had all the assets up front. That back 7 been in trouble for a few years until y'all got Bobby and now getting Marshawn Lattimore. So I ain't mad at that at all. But now outside of Washington and Detroit, man, Kansas City, man. Going to get D-Hop turning back the hands of time, reminding everybody who he still is, doing what he got to do. I'm happy for him, though. I'm happy for D-Hop, man. That man was in Tennessee, might as well been early grave. So I'm happy for D-Hop, finds his way in Kansas City, and he putting on, boy. About 90 yards, 2 tubs. He putting on. And I like the Josh Uche pickup, man. The pass rusher from the Patriots, adding him to that defensive line. That defense is stout anyway. But, adding him as another legit rushing edge threat because, you got Chris Jones in the middle. You got George Karlaftis. You got some guys on the outside. But I think Josh Uche is going to get him a nice bump and some real juice off the edge, especially with Chris Jones causing all the havoc he does in the middle. And then, like I said, the rest of that defense is already solid, man. So I really like what Kansas City did as well. I like what Kansas City did. Yeah. Then I ain't gonna lie, man. Hey, quiet as kept, man. My Steelers, man, going to get Mike Williams. That was happening. I already resigned that. We wanted him in the preseason anyway, or we wanted him in the offseason. He visited the Jets before us. We were scheduled to host him the day after he signed with the Jets, but he got to the Jets first, and they didn't let him out the building. So he could have been with us from the gate if he'd have got to us. But I ain't lying, man. It didn't work out with him in New York with the Jets and A-Rod. He gonna fit. He gonna do what we need him to do with Russ, man. If you can still get 40 yards up the sideline and still go get it, man, you're gonna fit right in with Russ. So yeah, I like this Mike Williams pickup. I really like this Preston Smith pickup too. I think that's underrated. He gonna add some damn good depth to that edge rush, man, for sure. Then real quick, man, I'll do a little quick recap, man, on some of the bigger names. We already talked that we didn't beat Marshawn Lattimore to Washington to death for sure. We already know about Devontae going to the Jets. We touched on D-Hop to Kansas City. I really like the move to Amari Cooper to Buffalo. I think that's still working itself out. You know what I'm saying? They still get in the groove, but that's going to pay dividends. As we get closer and closer to the playoffs, that's really going to pay dividends for sure. Who else? Anybody else worth mentioning? And then, we already talked about Mingo to the Cowboys. So yeah. But no, this was an exciting draft. This was an exciting draft deadline, man. I feel like there was way more action than we're generally used to seeing this year, just in general. And then there were still some more lesser known names, style of trades, and that sort of thing. But yeah, man. I love it. I can't wait to see. Can't wait to see what we look like, man, against these Commanders. These Commanders. Matter of fact, this game against Commanders, this is gonna be a real litmus test, I think, for my Steelers, man. Coming off a bye, it is on the road, though. I believe. I think, yeah, it is on the road in Washington, but this is where I'm really expecting. Now we've had 2 weeks of rest. He's had, 2 weeks to kind of shake the cobwebs off, kind of try to find a groove. I think he has looked better each week. Now we get a full week, a bye week to really kind of tighten back up. I ain't gonna lie, man. I think we're gonna look good, man. I think we're gonna look good against your Commanders. I think we're gonna look good, man. Getting into these games. First one up, man. Dallas on the road at Atlanta. They take an L 27-21. Cousins goes for 220 yards and 3 touchdowns. No interceptions. My fault, man. East Atlanta Kirk, man. Zone 6, Kirk did what he had to do for sure. Bijan goes for 86 yards. Darnell Mooney goes for 90 yards and a touchdown in this one as well. Dak Prescott, I don't know what's going on with these Cowboys, man. 130 yards, 1 touchdown. Leaves that game with injury. Anybody else worth talking about in that one? No, not really. Now, biggest news, I guess, coming out of that for Dallas, Dak Prescott went on IR. So, unless some type of miracle happens, I don't see why you pull him off IR at this point. He went on IR, so he's out for at least 4 weeks. They're what? The Cowboys are they 3-4? Cowboys 3-4? Or are they 3-5? Whatever it is. So, I don't see a reason why they bring Dak back this season. Unless for some reason you're going to tell me Cooper Rush is going to lead some type of charge and they're going to find a way to rattle off 3 wins out of these next 4 weeks to make it interesting. But I would imagine, man, that Dak's probably done for the season. Turn this. Dallas just turning this one on in, man. Turning this one on in. A 4th rounder for Jonathan Mingo. Dak likely done for the year. Michael Parsons finally slated, I think, to come back. But at this point, it's like, do we really want to bring him back? We want to risk injury, especially he's due to get paid this upcoming season as well. So everything that could have went wrong definitely went wrong for Dallas this year, man. Everything that could have went wrong definitely went wrong. Moving on, man. Miami takes an L2 Buffalo 30-27. Big Josh goes 235 and 3 touchdowns. His 2nd interception of the year in this one. Now the interception bounced off the receiver's chest, literally. On a quick slant, bounced off his chest into the hands of a Dolphins defender. But other thing, though, big news on this one for the Dolphins, man. For the 2nd week in a row, Tua, for one, stayed healthy, and he's looking good. He was 25 of 28 in this game, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Devin Achane had a big day, 63 rushing, a touchdown, another 60 yards receiving. I think he had a receiver touchdown as well. Tyreek finally got a little yardage, 80 yards in this game as well. So the Dolphins, man, now with Tua back, they're definitely competent. And they playing close football, man. They could have been 2-0. You lost a 1-point loss to the Cardinals and then a 3-point loss on the road against Buffalo. So the Dolphins, not quite dead in the water yet. I think the hole is too deep. I don't think they're going to dig themselves out of the hole and make the playoffs. But I do think, like I said, they're going to rally and string together some games and at least kind of get themselves a backdoor chance to see how that wild card plays out. But let's keep it on moving. Vegas on the road at Cincinnati, they get spanked 41-24. I called this one on Sunday. I thought there was going to be a big day for Burrow for sure, but I thought Burrow and Chase both would have a big day. Chase didn't have a big day himself. Jamar Chase, that is. I think he had like 50 yards receiving, 54 yards receiving. But Joe Burrow definitely did, man. 250 yards, 5 touchdowns. Did throw 1 interception in this game. Big day for the young running back Chase Brown. 27 carries, 120 yards. Also had 37 yards receiving and a touchdown. Big day for him. Mike Gesicki, tight end, had 100 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game as well. And then big day on the defense, man, for Trey Hendrickson. Defense end for the Bengals. 4 sacks. 4 sacks in this game. And in fact, I think he's leading the league in sacks now. Kind of definitely buoyed her based off this last performance. And then for the Raiders, Brock Bowers, man, being as advertised, he's been the only bright spot for this Raiders team all year. He has another touchdown in this game on 45 yards receiving. Yeah, Raiders in utter disarray as well. Now, here's the question as well: is man, does Antonio Pierce survive the year? The Raiders, I think, fired their entire offensive coaching staff. That was announced to start this. Yeah, that was announced. Just the other day. So Luke Getke and who was the offensive coordinator, the quarterbacks coach, and I think the O-line coach. I think all of them got let go this week, and so we'll see what happens, man. I think AP cutting heads. You know what I'm saying? But buying himself more time. And I feel bad about Antonio Pierce, man. AP. I like AP, man. I was happy for him when he got that job. I really liked the job he did when he took over as the interim coach last year, getting that team to rally and play as well as they did. But it's been a tough go for them out the gate. Especially they couldn't find an answer at the quarterback position, and it's definitely showing, man. They just most weeks it feels like they show up and they dead in the water. So we'll see what happens there. Chargers go on the road at Cleveland and get a dub 27-10. Now, if you watch the Sunday show, I predicted literally, I said the Browns will win this game unless Jameis goes out there and has one of those days where he throws 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. And what did Jameis do? He threw 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Now, if you don't believe me, check my y'all, check my YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I pulled the footage for y'all. I pulled the beam footage. So if y'all should be subscribed to the YouTube anyway. Go check out your boys' reels. You know what I'm saying? How to put up a couple shorts, whatever they, you know what I'm saying? A couple shorts. But I've got one where I pulled that prediction on Jameis throwing 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. And what the hell do you know? Jameis does exactly that, and they take an L exactly like I said. That's another reason to remind y'all why y'all need to be tuning in and tapping in with your dog on Sunday mornings for sure. But now big win for the Chargers on the road. Justin Herbert had himself a good day, 280 yards, passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. J.K. Dobbins had a good day, 85 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns as well. Quentin Johnston, who was trending like a bust out of TCU, he came back from injury. He had a big day, 4 for 118 and a touchdown in this one. And then that defense for the Chargers had themselves just a monster day, 6 sacks total as a unit and 3 interceptions, of course, on Jameis Winston. So big day, big win, big conference win, like I said, for the Chargers, who, like I said, trying to keep themselves alive in the playoff hunt as well. Moving on, man. New England on the road at Tennessee. Tennessee wins this one in overtime, 20-17. Let's see here. Anything worth talking about in this one? Yeah. Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard's been toting the rock now. Tony Pollard's been toting the rock, man. An old favorite of mine. 28 carries, 128 yards. So big day on the ground for him. Then on the other side, man, Drake May had a concussion. He returned and played in this game. 206 passing yards, 1 touchdown. Did throw 2 interceptions. Also did add 95 yards rushing on the ground. So big dual threat day from Drake May in an overtime loss in this one, man. And I had actually picked the Patriots to win this one. I'm not going to call it an upset because Patriots and the Titans are both bottom 5 teams in the league, essentially. So no real upset either way. But I did have the Patriots winning this one, and instead they lose in overtime. So still was a close game for sure. Look who then finally made it to the party. Mom's in the building. Said, yeah. See, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Bless you as always. You know I will. I appreciate it all the same. Appreciate it all the same. Moving on. Washington on the road against the Giants. And honestly, this game was a little tighter than I anticipated. I thought Washington was going to win this game by 2 touchdowns. I thought Washington would win this game by 2 touchdowns. But the Giants, for the second week in a row, have played pretty competitive and lost a close game to, capable opponent. They played my Steelers tough 2 weeks ago. And then now in this game, a 5-point game against the Washington Commanders, who have been kind of a darling of the league thus far this year, with, of course, the stud rookie that they got in Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels, speaking of, he goes for 200 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions in this game. Scary Terry in this one only had 2 catches for 19 yards. But if you're only going to have 2 catches, if you only going to have 19 yards, then you might as well get in the paint. So he only had 2 catches for less than 20 yards. Both of them were touchdowns. And so, like I said, man, if you gotta turn in that type of day, might as well score while you do it. Then on the other side, yeah, you know what? I'll talk Daniel Jones. He had 175 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, another 50 yards rushing, and a rushing touchdown as well in the loss. But no, the Giants, like I said, kind of hung tough for kept that game close and end up losing a close one in the division game. Moving on, New Orleans at Carolina. This is the game that got Dennis Allen fired. The game that was the final straw. I think they started, like I said, they started 2-0. I think with this loss to Carolina for sure, 1 point loss, a game that, this did feel inexcusable. Just knowing what we know about Carolina and just the trajectory of what that Saints team did since coming out with back-to-back 40-point performances, starting 2-0, looking like they may be a real factor in that NFC South, and then continuing on to go on a 7-game now losing streak. I think that's, or is it 7 or 8? 6 or 7? I believe they're 2-7 now, the Saints. I believe they're 2-7, man. I think this was the 7th game in a row. And so, of course, as we already talked about, Dennis Allen, head coach, relieved of his duties. But then for that Panthers team, man, congratulations. I think Bryce Young gets his first victory of the season. It's been announced he's going to continue to start, so he's going to start next week as well. He threw 171 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick in this game. Chuba Hubbard, man, the running back for Oklahoma State, who's turned into the lead back for them over this last year and a half. He quiet as kept. He's been having a very productive year. I think he's like number 5 in rushing yards at the running back position in the league on this poor performing Carolina team. But he had 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Xavier Legette, man, the viral rookie receiver from South Carolina, he had 30 yards and a touchdown in this one as well. Bad news, I guess. Bad news in this game. Derek Carr, of course, back off injury, but Chris Olave, man, took a terrible shot in this game, man. Derek Carr misses high across the middle for Olave, and anytime you miss high across the middle, that spells trouble for the receiver there. Olave gets himself, gets sandwiched really with 2 defenders there. The safety's coming down. He jumps up. He's fully extended. Safety goes there to make a play on the ball, man. Separate man from ball. So I don't feel anything was out of play or dirty or just I don't think there's any of that going on as far as the defender goes. Separate man from ball, man. First rule of being a safety, a DB, or whatever the case, man. Separate man from ball, and that's exactly what he did. And that play, that hit, the resulting concussion injury falls squarely on the shoulder or on the right arm of Derek Carr. Like I said, man, you can't hang guys out to dry like that. And that's exactly what he did, man, and got a guy hurt. And especially, man, in this game, we've seen what those hits have done to Tua Tagovailoa. You know what I'm saying? We've seen what the wrong type of hit or contact has done to Damar Hamlin. You know what I mean? Like guys' lives are still at stake in this game, man, regardless of all the rule changes and the things that have been done to try to make it as safe as they can to a certain extent. But yeah, man, you can't throw hospital balls like that, man. And especially Chris Olave just came back from injury. I think Chris Olave had already missed 2 games this year. I think he may have had a previous concussion just a month ago that required him to miss a game or 2. And so, man, I think it's already been. He's released a statement via like social media. You know, he's fine or he's okay or whatever the case. But Derek Carr, man, somebody should have whooped your ass in the locker room. You can't do that, man. Throwing them hospital balls like that, damn near getting boys killed. But moving on, man, Denver goes to Baltimore and gets spanked 41-10. On Sunday, we talked about this as well, man. This was a get back game for Baltimore, man. They had a tough loss, a division loss against the Browns. The Browns come back, win this game at the end. Jameis Winston goes up top for 40 yards and a game-winning touchdown pass to Cedric Tillman. And that was the second, I guess, ugly loss or just loss that Baltimore shouldn't have had this year. They had a bad loss earlier in the year. They start the season 0-2. They had a back-to-back loss after the Kansas City game to open the season, in which they lose that game by Isaiah Likely's big toe. Then the next week, you drop one inexcusably to the Las Vegas Raiders at home. At home, man. So that was a terrible loss. And then, of course, to lose to the Browns the way they did. So that all spelled bad news for the Broncos, and they definitely exercised those demons, man. 41-10. Lamar 16 for 19, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions on the day. Derrick Henry, it's routine at this point, man. 23 carries, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. Zay Flowers probably had his best game of the season. 5 catches, 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. Capped off by the highlight 53-yard touchdown catch and run that he had there. Man, so great day there. On the other side of that, the only bright spot, I guess we could say, for the Broncos, Cam Sutton had a big day, 7 for $122. He threw a passing touchdown right there on the goal line for the only touchdown of the day for the Broncos. But Baltimore, man, looking damn good, man. Really looking damn good. And matter of fact, who they added? They added Deontay Johnson, but he hasn't made an impact just yet. And so curious to see what they do look like once they get Deontay Johnson up to speed in that offense. And now, get him paired with Zay Flowers. Rennie says Super Bowl for L, Super Bowl for Lamar. I mean, hey, we'll see. But see, this the thing though, Rennie. This isn't new for the Ravens. The Ravens, quiet as kept. The Ravens they've fallen short in the playoffs all Lamar's career. Honestly, like Lamar he's fallen short in the playoffs. Last year's playoff loss at home to Kansas City is an excellent microcosm of the ills or the shortfalls of Baltimore and Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. No reason at all they should have lost that game to Kansas City, especially losing the way they did, especially at home. You know what I mean? Like, so it's one thing to get it done in the regular season, but the playoffs is its own season. The playoffs is its own animal. And to this point just yet, Lamar and those Ravens still got a way to go. They still got a way to go. Moving on, man. Jacksonville on the road at Philly. They take an L there, 28-23. And I know y'all saw the cover. Y'all saw the cover photo, man. Saquon hurdling the Jaguars defender backwards. Tremendously athletic play for one. But Philly is really turning it on, man. Philly is really settling down, finding their groove. Jalen Hurts in this one was dealing. Jalen Hurts in this one was sharp. Best game of the year for Jalen Hurts for me, in my opinion, with him throwing the ball. From what I saw, that's really how I felt. He was throwing precision lasers all around the field and doing it for the most part without A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith stepped up big in this one. Some massive catches. Excellent catches in this one. A highlight-worthy touchdown grab right there on the back line of the end zone, getting the feet in and making that fingertip grab. So great play there. Hurts goes 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Has another 67 yards rushing, a rushing touchdown as well. So big day there. Saquon, fantastic day. 27 carries, 159 yards and a touchdown. Also another 40 yards receiving touchdown as well. So what? Roughly just shy of a 200-yard day for Saquon. And like I said, capped off or highlighted by that tremendous reverse hurdle. And this was so crazy about it. Saquon's running. He breaks a guy's ankle. He spins and breaks the tackle of a second guy. He comes out the spin, sees the third guy coming, starts to kind of spin, and it's like, yeah, I'm not going to make it. And then backwards bunny hops over a grown-ass man. Backwards bunny hops over the other grown-ass man to break that tackle and then fall forward for another 2-3 yards. Tremendous play. Tremendous play by Saquon Barkley, man, who's been everything that Philadelphia could have wanted or imagined they were getting when they made that the move to go get him. They're getting that and more. I think they've fair trade. A fair trade is no robbery, and I think there's only winners on both sides of this deal, man, for Saquon and for Philadelphia both. So great, tremendous signing, and Saquon having a fantastic year. So kudos to him. Moving on, man. Got Chicago on the road at Arizona. Arizona, I told y'all now, Arizona and Kyler Murray, quiet as kept, man. They playing good ball. They have a one-sided dominant win against Chicago at home, 29-9. Like I said, nothing special, nothing crazy. Kyler only throws 150 yards, no touchdowns or picks in this one. James Conner paced the day on the ground. The running game, by and large, for the Cardinals really just kind of carried the day. James Conner goes 107 yards on 18 carries. Amari DiMercado, He has another 60 yards and a touchdown. Trey Benson, a guy I really liked this is his rookie year. I really liked him a lot coming out of Florida State. He was my running back one coming out of Florida State. He had about 8 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown in this game as well. So big day there. Caleb Williams in that Browns offense, man, they're really struggling. Caleb throws for 200 yards, no touchdowns or picks in this one. Rome Odunze has a 100-yard day, 5 for 104. I think that was really the only bright spot of the day for Chicago. Chicago, who came off that embarrassing, it's fair to say, that embarrassing loss last week with the Hail Mary against the Commanders. Tyreek Stevenson, the corner, who was, into it with the fans and then runs over, deflects the ball, knocks it into the hands of the Commander. He gets benched, I guess, to start this game. He gets benched at the start of this game. He does end up playing. And I don't like that, because that feels weak. If you're going to bench him, bench him. Like, what, you sat him down for 2 series, spank his hand and go, like, what's the point? We grown men out here. Spank his hand. You wasting time. You know what I'm saying? Is he going to play or not? If he's the best guy that needs to be on the field, then why waste time with them 2 series? What point did you prove? I think you make yourself look weak as the coach. Sit him or don't. You know what I'm saying? If all it took was to cuss his ass out, make him run some extra sprints or laps or whatever, embarrass him in the film room all week, well, then let him get his ass out there on the field and play if he's going to play. Or if you do think you got to sit him down because maybe this isn't a one-off, maybe he's been wilding behind the scenes and we didn't know it, then sit him down. But I don't like the whole, he's going to sit for these first 2 series. Like, come on, man, what is this? This ain't JV ball, man. Like, what are we doing? So that just felt weak. That just felt weak. And then you go out there and get your ass beat anyway. So kudos to you, Chicago. Kudos to you, Chicago. Moving on, man. My game of the week, Detroit at Green Bay. This one, man, Detroit dominates this game. 24-10. It's not a 40 ball or nothing crazy like we've seen Detroit do, but they dominated this game. And this is what's most alarming for me in this game if you're Green Bay, and what's most appealing or exciting if you're a Detroit Lions fan. This game was outside in Detroit. The elements were full-fledged. It was a rainy, sloppy, wet game. And so that should play into Green Bay. Green Bay, you're the outside team. The dome team is the visitor. So when it's rainy and muddy and slick and nasty outside, you know what I mean? Like, that's part of your advantage, Green Bay. It looked like Detroit was at home. You'd have thought this game was in Detroit. Green Bay had all the issues with the rain. It felt Jordan. How many snaps did Jordan Love fumble in this game, man? 3, 2, 3, 4, 3. I think he had 3 fumble snaps. And then this is the thing that pissed me off too, Matt LaFleur. Obviously, there's an issue with the center, who Elgin Jenkins was filling in at center. He had been your guard. He's got versatility, but he's filling in at center. In this weather, the snaps were coming out a little low and left. Jordan Love couldn't get a handle on him. He dropped two of them in a row. You know what I mean? Like, so he had three botched fumbles. You're still in shotgun. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? We're taking ourselves out the game. What else? Hold on. Let me find my stat. Yeah. Then there we go. Yeah. Then he throws the pick 6 in this one. Poor play. It's a busted play. I don't know, were they trying to run a screen or was it just a busted protection? But Kirby Joseph, and one of the safeties I highlighted on Sunday, I said that Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph both have been getting, causing turnovers. They both got at least 3 picks. I think Kirby Joseph had 4. Brian Branch had 3. And so these guys have been ball hawks. And I said that one of these guys is going to get their hands on the ball. And then Kirby Joseph does get an ill-advised throw by Jordan Love. Sometimes you just got to know when to hold them and fold them, man. Sometimes you just got to go down with the ball. Don't be one of those guys fading back, running. A guy's hanging on you. I'm just going to try to lob it, put it right in the chest of a Pro Bowl caliber safety for Detroit. And he takes it 30 yards the other way for a touchdown. I think that was right before halftime. And I think that was really the touchdown that really kind of spread the game out. I think it was it 21-7 at that point? I mean, it just felt like once that happened, the way things were going, like Green Bay, Green Bay didn't have a chance to get back in this game. It just didn't feel that way. Then on the other side, Jared Goff, man, Jared Goff has been playing damn near perfect football. Jared Goff in this game, 18 for 22, only 145 yards, one touchdown. So it's not a tremendous day stat wise, but it just continues the track that he's been on, just throwing the ball. I think Jared Goff is, and what's crazy, Jaden Daniels has set a record for most accurate quarterback over like a 4-game span. I want to know what Jared Goff's 4-game span has been, because Jared Goff had a perfect game. What a handful of weeks ago? Was he 22 for 22 or something like that, or 19 for 19, whatever? I think I saw a stat that said the Lions have like, I think Jared Goff has more rushing yards than he has incompletions over like the last month or something like that. It was like Jared Goff has like 26 rushing yards. He's only got 22 incompletions over the last month. It was some type of crazy stat like that. So Jared Goff is playing damn good ball. That running game was in full effect. David Montgomery, 17 for 73. Jahmyr Gibbs, 11 for 65 and a touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown got in the end zone in this one, 56 yards and a touchdown as well. And so, but all in all, man, Detroit's looking like a real machine, man. And I've said this for over a month now, man. Detroit is really, I've got them as the best team in the league, man. I know they got a loss. They got the early loss to Tampa Bay on the road. Shout out to Big Baker Mayfield. He went in there and got that done. Even with Aiden Hutchinson sacking him 5 times in that game, they came back and they got that win. But that's the only loss on Detroit's record. But they can really win any and every which way imaginable, because they still have it in them to air it out. Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown, they're going to get Jameson Williams back, who had a short 2-game suspension. So he's back in the fold now, but he was having his best year of his career now that he's finally healthy. And so you can definitely do that. They've got the best 2-headed running back tandem in the league as well. That defense, they've lost Aiden Hutchinson for sure, so that pass rush has dried up a little bit. But I already highlighted kind of the way the guys on the back end are playing. That safety duo with Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. Those guys are both playing phenomenal, man. That defense is opportunistic. The Lions are going to be hell for anybody that they run into. And then seeing them dominate the way they did outside in the elements. So now we can't even hold that against Jared Goff that, well, man, he can't. He's got to be protected. He's got to be in the dome. He's got to be inside with the AC on. No, hell no. 18 for 22 in the damn rainstorm in Green Bay. And meanwhile, I watched the hometown quarterback, Jordan Love. He couldn't take a snap. You know what I mean? So Detroit's going to be hell, man. They keep it rolling like they are. That offensive line is still probably my favorite offensive line in the league as well. Penei Sewell, absolute monster, best right tackle in football. Frank Ragnow still a stud at the center position. I mean, this Detroit Lions team just has a lot of pieces that I really like, man. I really enjoy the way that they, especially how they run the football, man. So Detroit definitely is shaping up to be a real problem. Oh, man, hold on. Who done fell in the building, man? Shout out to my dog, man. Terrible Time Walker holding it down for them Houston Texans, man. And you know it wouldn't be right if my dog Tom didn't let y'all know that the Texans is going to the Super Bowl for sure. Yeah, buddy, man. Appreciate you, big dog. He said, Reem said, Jordan Love is young, but he's going to get the... No, he's super talented, but he's reckless with the football. And I like Jordan Love. I like him coming into the league, man. He Utah State. I always want to say Nevada, but it's Utah State. When he came in, he was in my top 5 quarterbacks of the draft that year. Because he was one of the guys that me and Chop disagreed on. Chop wasn't feeling him. So I'm a Jordan Love fan. I liked when they drafted him. When A-Rod was still there, it was that same formula that we've seen the Packers use. Brett Favre is there, you draft A-Rod at the bottom of the first. A-Rod's there, he's older, you draft Jordan Love now in the bottom of the first. Or did he go in the top of the second? It's either bottom of the first, top of the second. But so we've seen that formula. And then he's a good mix of the two as far as Aaron Rodgers and Favre, but he's trending more towards Favre as far as the reckless gunslinging as opposed to the, precision, the precision arm angles and just accurate 30-yard ropes that we saw from Aaron Rodgers. So like he's skewing a little too much Favre, man, and in this day and age, you just can't win football games like that. Favre was able to win and get away with that in the 90s. You know what I mean? So, but you can't win consistently that way in today's game, man. So he's gotta find a way to tighten it up. But I love his talent. He throws some darts. Like he throws some absolute lasers, but he's also wildly inconsistent. Terrible decision making. Oh, hold on, my dog Isaiah that slid in here, man. He said, "Hey, you missed it, man. Hey, I talked about the Chargers and the Chargers and the Browns. Matter of fact, man, I did. I gave y'all love, man. I even shouted out Quentin Johnston. You know what I'm saying? I said Quentin Johnston was looking like a bust. I mean, it wasn't no other way around it, man. It was a terrible rookie, and he was only a rookie, but it just looked so bad. You know what I mean? That people were already ready to call him a bust, and he's having when he's been on the field. I thought he was a little banged up. I know he came back this game, right? Was this his first game back from injury, I want to say? Or maybe it was his second game back, but he had a big day. 4 for 118, a big touchdown. J.K. Dobbins in the run game got going. I feel like that run game had been quiet for a few weeks. That y'all started the year on too much of a high, so that wasn't going to be sustainable. 200 yards a game and J.K. Dobbins averaging 10 yards a carry. I knew you wasn't going to sustain that, but then y'all fell all the way off, and I think J.K. Dobbins had 4 weeks in a row where he had less than 60 yards, averaged less like 3 yards a carry. So like that running game had really dried up. But y'all had a good day running the ball in this one as well. I think JK had 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Herbert was clean in this one. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And I had predicted on Sunday, and matter of fact, you on the YouTube too, man. I appreciate you. Check out my short I did where on Sunday I predicted, I said if the I picked the Browns to win, but I said if the Browns lose, it's because Jameis Winston had one of those days where he throws 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. I literally said that Sunday. I pulled the footage. So check out the little YouTube short, man. I literally called it. I said if the Browns lose this game, it means that Jameis threw 1 touchdown, 3 picks. And I'll be daggone if that's not what happened. But no, man, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know how much credit you want for beating the Browns, though. You know what I'm saying? They still the Browns. But, yeah, hey, take them where you can get them. I ain't mad at you at all. Now, best defense in the league. That's a stretch. That's a stretch, my boy. Y'all not the best defense in y'all division. Y'all not the best defense in y'all division. If we gonna keep it funky. Now I know y'all are the number 1 scoring defense. Y'all do have that. Y'all beating my Steelers by a point. Y'all giving up 14 a game. We giving up 15 a game. But so y'all got us there by a point. But from tip to tail, I don't know, man. I still don't think y'all a better defense than Kansas City. But Kansas City defense is legit. Like I don't mean that as a slight. I think Kansas City is just a damn good defense, man. Spags really got that Kansas City defense humming. They do. Dog, ain't nothing to be ashamed about, man. He is. If not for Lamar, we'd be talking about it. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know how I rock with Jared Goff, man. Come on, man. Y'all know how I rock with Jared Goff. Jared Goff is good for 30 in my book. Jared Goff is good for 30 at any time in my book. So yeah, I'm with you, bro. If not for Lamar, that's the conversation we'd be having. But I think Lamar has just been so impressive. And not just Lamar, but just this whole Lamar and Henry combo is just really is giving us all the eye candy we want. And Lamar's just playing out of his mind as well. You know what I'm saying? He's playing out of his mind as well. He went 16 for 19, 280, and was it 3 touchdowns in that game against the Broncos? I think he only had 2 or 3 rushing attempts. Didn't even rush for 3 yards, or didn't even rush for 10 yards in that game. You know what I mean? He's had a 5 touchdown performance this year with no turnovers. You know what I mean? So if not for Lamar, man, I think that would definitely be the conversation around Jared Goff. But man, he's playing the way he's playing in a year where Lamar is playing absolutely out his mind. Cause I can't. Yeah. You said that. Yeah, you got. Yeah. I said that, but I can't say y'all the best defense in the league. I can't go that far, man. Y'all are being stingy as far as like I said, points allowed. I'm trying to think what offense that y'all played that's really been like what viable offense y'all played that y'all held in check. That's what I'm trying to think. Like who's the best offense y'all played this year? That's what I'm trying to think. Damn sure not the Browns. Wasn't my Steelers. Not when we played y'all. Y'all beat up on the Panthers, I think, of course. Like, what's the best offense y'all played? I'm trying to think, man. You gotta let me know. Let me know what's the best offense. What's the top 2 offenses y'all done played? Cause y'all got the numbers as far as points allowed. But I need a little more context. Like, who are you stopping? Are you just beating up on the Browns and the Panthers and the Raiders? You know what I'm saying? Or is there anybody in there that can fight back? Who in that mix can jab back? That's what I need to know. 12 points per game. It was 14. When did it get to 12? It was 14. It was 14.8 because I think my Steelers were like 15.6 or something like that. Y'all literally had us by a point. So when to get to 12 points a game? See, you ain't gotta stretch it, dog. Y'all was at like 14.3 or 14.8 because my Steelers are at like 15 points up. We're a point behind y'all. Come on, man. My Steelers are a point behind y'all. But I need to know who y'all played, though. I need to know, man. Who's the best offense y'all played? That's what I want to know. Hold on. Browns gave the Ravens hell is a stretch. Let's not forget, Jameis Winston threw what should have been an interception to end that game to hit Kyle Hamilton right in the chest. Then he goes up top for a 40-yard touchdown to win the game at the end. But, bro, they won that game, what, 23? That game was like 23-20 or 23-21 or 26-23, something like that. Okay, well, yeah, we just had the bye. You said y'all at 12.6 now. Okay, yeah, we just had a bye week, so yeah, we still at 14.9 because it was 1 point. The last time I had seen it, y'all had us by 1 point. So yeah, and yeah, y'all just beat the what was that score in that Browns game? What was that score? Yeah, 10. So you held the Browns to 10 with Jameis throwing 3 interceptions. So yeah, that probably helped the average a little bit. That probably helped the average a little bit. Jameis throwing 3 interceptions and them only scoring 10 points. So yeah, that probably helped the average a little bit. Because y'all had only had us by a point before then. But no, I mean y'all playing, y'all. I mean y'all doing your thing. Y'all doing your thing, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, yeah, y'all doing your thing. Y'all doing your thing. Credit where it's due. Credit where it's due. What was the next game I was on? Oh, Rams and Seattle, man. Rams go to Seattle, win this game in overtime 26-20. Seattle cost themselves the game. And more specifically, I hate to say it, Big Gino, man. Big Gino lost this game. 3 touchdowns in this game, 3 interceptions, but the 3 interceptions were terrible interceptions, dog. Godly. One of them being an interception in the end zone that gets returned for 103 yards. Like, just inexcusable, man. The Seattle had numerous opportunities to win this game. And like I said, I got to put it squarely on Geno Smith, man. And you know what? Hey, shout out to Big Geno, man. I still ride with you. I cheer for you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know where I'm at with it, but I got to call a spade, man. Geno cost the Seahawks this game, man. And shout out to Matt Stafford. My goodness. Matt Stafford, when he's got his weapons, man, Matt Stafford is looking great. Matt Stafford, when they got a chance to win, when it's winning time for sure. We've seen it in the Vikings game. We've seen it in the outside of the Lions game to start the season because he threw a red zone end zone interception in that game that ended up being a difference in Detroit beating on that game. But outside of that game, it feels like if you let Matt Stafford and those Rams hang around, Matt Stafford's cashing checks. Matt Stafford's cashing checks, and this game was no different. He goes 298 yards, 2 touchdowns, does throw 1 interception, throws the game-winning threw both touchdowns to DeMarcus Robinson. DeMarcus Robinson had a big day, including the game-winning touchdown in overtime. 6 for 94, those 2 touchdowns on a beautiful pass, beautiful catch. Tariq Woolen got that touchdown was on Tariq Woolen as well. top corner, essentially, top outside corner for the Seahawks. Cooper Kupp had himself a pretty good day, 11 catches, 104 yards. Puka gets thrown out of this game, ejected for throwing a punch. The highlight of this game for sure was definitely the Rams defense. I already talked about it. Thanks in no small part, of course, to Geno Smith just playing, just being making poor decisions with the ball. But that defense had 7 sacks, the 3 interceptions, and really led by the rookies. Man, I wanted to highlight the rookies in this one. Braden Fisk, defensive lineman for Florida State. I wasn't as high on him. He got a lot of buzz going into the draft because he was a super athletic guy, definitely undersized interior lineman. But I think he ran like 4.6 at 6'3", 280 pounds. Ran like a 4.6. I want to say so. One of those type of guys. But he had a day in this one. 2 sacks. Jared Verse. He was my edge one coming into this draft. He's the guy that I've got slated as the defensive rookie of the year, at least up to this point. He had a sack in this one. And then Cam Kitchens. I really feel good about this. Cam Kitchens had himself a career day. Rookie from Miami. Cam Kitchens was my number one, was my top safety in this draft. I loved Cam Kitchens' film when I watched it. I didn't understand what everybody else didn't love about him. I don't know if it's just me. I really couldn't get on board with Tyler Newman. He was a lot of people had him as the consensus number one safety kid from Minnesota. And he's solid or whatever, just wasn't necessarily my cup of tea. Cam Kitchens, man, was my guy, man. I was a big fan of his film, watching him in Miami. He had 2 picks in this one, including the pick 6 that I talked about, interception in the end zone. He returns at 103 yards for a touchdown. So big day for that defense. And all 3 of those, the highlights from all those plays were by their rookie defensive draft class as well. So shout out to the Rams, man, in that front office. Sean McVay and Les Snead, they know exactly what they're doing, man. In April, because they it feels like they haven't really flat out missed on a draft class now for since they've been there, man. I'm trying to think of the last, maybe they haven't hit on every player, but those classes, the guys they bring in, they've hit. It feels like they've hit more times than not. So kudos there. And then quiet as kept, man. The Rams went from being on the verge of a fire sale because my Steelers were this close to trading for Cooper Kupp, because it was looking like they were ready to, kind of pack it in and maybe tear it down and just go full-fledged rebuild. They end up stealing a win against the Vikings, and now they're kind of hot and they're rolling. They're only a half game back out of first in that division from the Cardinals. And so the Rams are right there in the thick of it, man. And like I said, when these games are close and Matt Stafford has the ball, boy, that's hell for anybody. That's hell for just about anybody. Matt Stafford is playing damn good ball, man. So kudos and congratulations to the Rams and Stafford. Moving on, man. The Sunday night game, Indianapolis at Minnesota. I thought Minnesota would. I thought they'd be more dominant in this game. Honestly, I thought that defense was troublesome for sure for the Colts and for Flacco. But I still felt like I just expected this to be a more dominant performance by the Vikings, especially coming off of that controversial no call that they had against the Rams, the obvious face mask in the end zone in front of the referee. There's still no excuse for missing that. I don't give a damn what he said. Well, I couldn't, hell no, bullshit. If you didn't see that call, then you don't need to be making calls. If you didn't see that call 3 yards directly in front of you, if you didn't see that call, I don't want that guy on the field making calls, period. So you missed that call. They ended up losing that game. A safety was awarded to the Rams, and there's your ball game essentially. So coming off of that loss, they had a very hot start. They start the year 5-0. The offense and the defense are looking fantastic. Then they got the 2-game skid. And so I expected this game for them to come out with a lot of piss and vinegar and really kind of take it out on a stationary target in Joe Flacco and his Colts team. But it wasn't that way, man. Indianapolis hung tough in this one. Indianapolis' defense, especially in the early going, feel like they gave just as good as they got. Darnold wasn't sharp in this one. 290 yards and 3 touchdowns, but does throw 2 interceptions. And 2 bad interceptions. The first one for sure, off memory, was just a poor decision. I want to say both of them bad interceptions, man. So Sam Darnold who the luster's kind of starting to, you know what I'm saying? He's losing a little bit of that luster he had that first month of the season, especially, or that first month of change as they go 5-0. But so maybe he's starting to kind of fall back down to earth and level back out, from playing at such a high. But we'll see what we'll see what happens. They did need this win. They needed this win to keep pace with Detroit, to stay firmly right there in the mix with the Packers as well, because those two went head to head. They still have games against both those teams as well. But these are the three teams currently that are kind of in the driver's seat, so to say, for the number one seed in the NFC. And so they need this win to try to keep up with Detroit, who's rolling, and they end up getting this win. But like I said, just not as smooth or as down as I thought it would be. Justin Jefferson, man, best in the business, has himself a big day in this one, 7 for 137. I saw something that said Justin Jefferson's he's on track to break the total career receiving yardage to this point in your career by a receiver in the first 5 seasons of their career. So Torrey Holt for the Rams has this record right now, and he set it in like 80 games. And Justin Jefferson needs like a 100-yard game next week to break this record. And assuming he does that, he'll do it in like 58 games, almost a season less worth of games. You know what I'm saying? 12 games is three-fourths of a season less to break that record by a guy who's arguably a Hall of Famer, in Torrey Holt. Because I don't did they let Torrey in? I'm never sure with these receivers, man. I'm not sure if they finally let Torrey in or not. But if he's not in the Hall of Fame, then arguably a Hall of Fame caliber guy. But yeah, no, just fantastic pace he's on to start his career, man. So kudos there. And then I guess the only other thing I would say for Indianapolis in this one, this is the game that they made the move. They bench Anthony Richardson. Joe Flacco starts. And I thought that was just kind of terrible timing, just the way it played out, because this was the game that Anthony Richardson's legs, his mobility, would have been the biggest asset or what they really needed, especially with the pressure that Vikings defense is able to generate, man, with Brian Flores dialing it up back there. And the longer this game wore on, they definitely started finding Flacco more and more frequently. And so Anthony Richardson's legs definitely could have been an asset in this one. But be that as it may, Colts take a loss, and we'll see how much longer they stay on the Joe Flacco train before they turn it back over to Anthony Richardson. Let's see. Then moving on to Monday night, man. Tampa Bay at Kansas City. I don't know who expected this one to go to overtime. This is kudos to Baker Mayfield, man. Baker Mayfield keeping this Tampa Bay team competitive with the injuries that they faced. He lost Chris Godwin in a game that was all but over anyway. The last minute of the game, you lose Chris Godwin for the season with a terrible fractured ankle that we saw live against the Ravens, like I said, less than a minute ago. Feel so terrible about that, man, for Chris Godwin, because he was at the contract year. He's not signed, and now he's injured. I mean, so just horrible timing and just horrible situation for Chris Godwin. Then Mike Evans has been battling a hamstring injury for most all this year. He's been out for a few weeks. And be that as it may, Big Baker Mayfield takes that team on the road to Kansas City on Monday night, storms back, and Darren gets the win, man. Darren storms back and ties this one up. There's some thought or some conversation on the road Monday night in Kansas City. Do you want to take a shot, man? Go for two and win or lose the game right there. Instead, they play for the tie. They play for the overtime. Then, of course, you get overtime. Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, they win the toss, and that's your ball game. Bob's your uncle. That's your ball game. Game over. And so it went kind of as you would expect it to. Just seeing what Patrick has done, Patrick and the Chiefs have done, and I've been pretty harsh. I don't even want to say I've been harsh. He's been playing like shit. There's no other way to say it. He's been playing bad. If his name was anything other than Patrick Mahomes, it wouldn't even be debatable. But be that as it may, I've been calling him out, trying to hold him accountable for his poor play. And then what's he do? Goes out Monday night and plays the best game he's played all season. 290 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Kareem Hunt, I'm telling you, Kareem Hunt is getting a workload like it's 2016 and he's 24 again with them fresh legs. 27 carries, 106 yards and a touchdown. I mean, I want to say Kareem Hunt, he's been there for a month now? Has it been 3, 4, 5 games? I'm not sure how long it's been. Kareem Hunt's had more than 20 carries, it feels like, in 3 out of those 4 games. or 4 out of 5, whatever. I mean, they are definitely, it's a full workload for Kareem Hunt, man, and he's showing up. So kudos and credit to him, man. He's definitely showing up. Kelsey had his most productive day of the season after a very slow start. He goes 14 catches for 100 yards in this one. And then D-Hop, DeAndre Hopkins, back from the dead, announces himself in Kansas City. Now, it's the second game. His second game there with the Chiefs. First game was uneventful. This one was really the coming out party, and what better time to do it than on Monday night? 8 catches, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. And honestly, man, I just got to be happy for DeAndre Hopkins. It's not even about the Chiefs, but just DeAndre Hopkins, man, just from where he was with his time in Houston, man, being a guy at the top of the league. You know what I'm saying? After we had Antonio Brown and Julio Jones there at the top, then DeAndre Hopkins, you know what I'm saying, as those guys start, waning or fading away, DeAndre Hopkins kind of comes in and picks up that mantle, him and Davante Adams. And then just kind of to see just how his career has really just kind of fizzled these last, let's say, 3 years outside of that first year in Arizona, man, just kind of just fizzled away. And so finally, I'm glad to see him get somewhere where he could show, man, he can still play this game and play it at a high level, man. So just, happy or excited for him to see him playing well for a guy who was definitely at one time, man, a guy that sat at the top of the league in this, sat at the top of the league for sure. So kudos to him. And then let me see, man. Matter of fact, man, I think that's it. That's the last game. But before we close it on down, man, we do got a little Thursday football to talk about. And I went back and forth on this one, man. We got a good one tomorrow night. AFC North football, so I'm going to be tuned in for sure. This is one of those games, man, where you got to choose between fat and ugly. There is no good choice. You know what I'm saying? You choose between fat and ugly. I was picking the Bengals in the upset. I was going Bengals in the upset on the road, and what I thought was going to be a shootout. I was going to get the edge to Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. It feels like Jamar Chase, more often than not, has big days when he's facing the Ravens, and specifically in his matchups against Marlon Humphrey. So that's what I was kind of banking on. Also, I was thinking that T. Higgins was going to be back and going to be able to play in this game. But the most recent report that I've seen is that T. Higgins isn't expected to be a go in this Thursday night game. And if that's the case, no T. Higgins, I think I don't know, man. I felt better about going with the Bengals with T. Higgins making his return. But with him being out, and then also, like I said, man, the way these Ravens are rolling, you got to be at full strength. I know Joe Burrow just came off a 5-touchdown game, and he's definitely capable of lighting it up for sure. I'm never gonna doubt Joe in that aspect, but I still would feel better if they were at full strength, man, in this one. I want to pull for the Bengals, and selfishly, just for AFC North standings and things of that nature. Anytime Baltimore loses, they're second in the AFC North, by the way, if you didn't know. But anytime they lose, it's a good thing, regardless of who they're playing. Even if that means the Bengals got to win, it's trumped by the Ravens losing. So I'll take that. But with T. Higgins being out, Baltimore being at home, rolling the way they are, that Bengals defense is shaky, to say the least, regardless of the pass rush performance they just got for Trey Hendrickson, having four sacks in their last game. But short week on the road in Baltimore without T. Higgins. I got to let my head overrule my heart here, and I'm going Baltimore at home to get this done. I do think that Joe Burrow and Jamar can still, put up some numbers and get this going. That Ravens defense as well is leaky themselves. Chase Brown just had a fantastic day, 27 carries, 128 yards. Now, I'm not saying he's going to do that against Baltimore, but if they do get some semblance of adequate production from him to help keep some of that pressure off of Joe Burrow, then this can be a shootout. I'm expecting exciting Thursday night football regardless, but I am going to go Baltimore to get this done at home, 30-27. 30-27 Baltimore is where I'm going with this one. So, but hey, that is it. That is all. Man, if right now in the chat for sure, if you do got something, man, you better speak now, forever hold your peace. But if not, man, I'm going to go ahead and get to this member roll call, man. Y'all know what's going on. Now, First one in the building today was Auntie, man. Rini was in the building. Appreciate you as always, man. My dog D-Dot came through and hollered at your dog, man. Big Nation Business in the building, man. He know what's going on with that, man. Appreciate your homeboy. We got a big one this weekend. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see what these Commanders hitting for, man. See what they really got going on, man. And speaking of the Commanders on Sunday, shout out to my dog Kelvo, man. My dog Bowser came through, hollered at your dog, man. He's a Commanders fan. He's going to be at that Washington and Steelers game as well, man. So super jealous of you there, man. I would love to catch that one too, man. So should be an exciting game for sure. You said you're gonna FaceTime for the game, man. I'm gonna hold you to it, man. I'm gonna hold you to it. Just show me the scoreboard at the end, man, when the Steelers on top, man. I'll take it, man. Mom Deuce came in the building as always, man. Appreciate you, lady. Have a blessed show. I definitely did my best to do that, man. Shout out to my dog, Terrible Tom Walker, holding it down for them Houston Texans. Let y'all know the Texans are Super Bowl bound. Wouldn't be a Wednesday if I ain't hear from my dog Tom, man. So I appreciate that, homeboy. Man, of course, man, my dog Isaiah in the building, man, came through, holding it down for his Chargers. Man, I try to get the Chargers some love. You know what I'm saying? Get the Chargers some love. Me and him do agree on Jared Goff, though, man. If not for Lamar, in my opinion, man, there'd be a lot more noise around Jared Goff's MVP campaign. But be that as it may, man, sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. And then other than that, man, y'all know what's going on, man. Y'all know I love and appreciate all the support, as always. And right now, it's time, man. Feel free to say it at home, because you feel free to say it with me at home, because I say the same thing every week. If I forgot to say your name, damn, my bad. But charge it to my head and don't charge it to my heart. I'm thinking about you. Once again, man, appreciate all the love, support. Appreciate y'all being active in the chat, man. This helps make it a more enjoyable experience for myself, man. Y'all know me, man. Y'all know I love talking ball anyway, and so it's always more exciting when I got somebody to talk back to. So appreciate y'all for doing that, man, for holding you all down. Don't forget, man, enjoy yourself tomorrow night, man. It's gonna be a banger tomorrow. Cincinnati on the road at Baltimore Thursday night. Very exciting game. And then don't forget, Tapping with Your Dog, Sunday, 10 o'clock, the best pregame show on the net, man. Tapping with Your Dog until Sunday at 10 a.m. I see y'all. Peace.